Hey guys, welcome back. I am the Metal Jesus. Now, many of you know that in the 90s, right out of college, I got a job working for Sierra Online. And I gotta tell you, it was an amazing experience because Sierra was at the top of their game, making so many great games back then. I mean, they were the biggest PC game publisher in the world, and it was awesome to be a part of that. So I thought, you know what? Now is the perfect time to do a video dedicated to my big box Sierra PC game collection. Now, I want to tell you, it's far from complete. As a matter of fact, I really only focus on the games that I'm kind of passionate about because Sierra was around for so long, there are literally hundreds of titles. So, without further ado, let's take a look. Let's start by taking a look at the games that Sierra is most known for, and that is our adventure games. And the Space Quest series is one of my favorites. Now, if you aren't familiar with the Space Quest series, you play as Roger Wilco, who is a janitor in space. But the series is really hilarious. It's actually one of the more funny series that Sierra put out. One of my favorite parts of the series is that they will parody popular movies, especially sci-fi movies like Star Trek or Star Wars. Next up is the Quest for Glory series, which we recently put out a video with Josh, who covered all of these. But these are really awesome adventure games that are kind of unlike anything else that Sierra did. They mix traditional adventure gameplay with RPG elements, so it's pretty cool. And of course, how can you mention Sierra and not talk about the King's Quest series? This was our biggest adventure series. It was so huge at the time. And now might be a good time to talk about one of my favorite aspects of collecting big box PC games, and that is the amazing box art. Look at this, I just love the box art on these classic games. Also notice that for some reason that I forget now, we released different colored versions of King's Quest VI. I don't remember why we did that, but it's pretty cool. And then probably one of my favorite Sierra boxes is the King's Quest VII box. Now the game itself is kind of just okay, but man, I love that box. And then to round out the King's Quest collection, I do have Mask of Eternity, which is the first one that was totally 3D, not a very good game. But the King's Quest collection is actually a pretty cool box. I like this one a lot, very classy. And then Roberta Williams went on to make Phantasmagoria, which is a full motion video adventure game that a lot of people like. Very gory. It's actually pretty cool. It comes on 7 CDs. Now this is before DVDs, and so to make all this video, we had to pack them on this 7 discs here, which was kind of crazy at the time. A lot of people don't realize that Sierra helped Valve publish the very first Half-Life. Here is the original box. Pretty awesome. Look at Gordon Freeman there, looking a little different than he normally does. And here is one of the boxes for Half-Life 2. I love this game. And here's one of the jewels of my collection. I actually got off Craigslist. This is the collector's edition of Half-Life. One of my favorite parts of this collection is that it comes with a Valve Half-Life 2 t-shirt. Very awesome. And of course, if you're gonna talk about Half-Life, you have to talk about Counter-Strike, also published by Sierra. Some other third-party games that we have published. This one is by Relic, called Homeworld. And I gotta tell you, the first time I saw this game, I thought the graphics were unbelievable. This is such a cool game. And here's a really cool first-person shooter. This is called No One Lives Forever. You play as Kate Archer. And oh my God, I love this game and its sequel so much. The Shiver series was Sierra's attempt to make a Myst clone, although with a little bit more horror in it. And you know, these are pretty cool games, although my claim to fame is I'm actually in the second one, and so is my wife's car, and also her dog, and also Drunken Master Paul. In the game, I play a guitarist. In the videos, of course. But the funny thing is, Paul is actually my voice when you listen to some of the answering machines. Here's kind of a rare sight. This is the original Gabriel Knight. This is unopened. And this is the original box that we shipped this game in. It's kind of puzzle-like, kind of weird. It definitely stands out when it was on the shelf. Now, I have a confession. I love to say this is my copy, but actually it is the Big JB's copy. I just keep it in the game room for safekeeping. Now let's look at some games from Dynamics, which was a company that was part of the Sierra family and one of my favorites. Although they were mostly known for simulation and arcade games, they did make a couple of really cool adventure games, including Rise of the Dragon. And I like to open this box and show the insides because it just shows how much stuff would come in a typical game. You'd have the floppy disks, you would have sometimes like a comic book or hint guide, you would have catalogs and maps and so much awesome stuff in these old PC games. They're amazing to collect for. Here are two more Dynamics games, The Heart of China and also Stellar 7, which was a really cool Battlezone clone. Some people might remember The Adventures of Willie Beamish, as well as the awesome Red Baron 2, complete with the Red Baron pizza coupon inside. Oh yes. And of course, they made a ton of great flight sims, including the A10 series. Now, the one on the right is actually the European release. Dynamics also made a football game that a lot of people liked. As a matter of fact, I used to support that game. As well as the Aces of the Deep Command Edition, which is actually pretty cool. The reason why it was called Command is because it actually supported voice commands if you had a microphone connected to a PC. Again, this was a long time ago and relatively unheard of at the time. If you're gonna talk about Dynamics, you need to talk about MechWarrior and big robots. Now, this is the Activision game here, but Dynamics made it and I wanted to show it. They went on to make MetalTech Earthsiege for Sierra. The MetalTech series branched off into a bunch of stuff, including Cyberstorm, which is a strategy game, as well as Tribes. A lot of people love Tribes. Here's some other games not many people remember, including Hunter Hunted, which is actually a pretty badass 2D platforming shooting game. And here is Rendezvous with Rama. This was based on the books by Arthur C. Clarke. These are very Myst-like. Here's some adventure games that not many people remember. Here's Manhunter New York, as well as Codename Iceman. Now this is made by the guy who also made the Police Quest series. Here is a Japanese shooter that Sierra published called Thexter, and an adventure game that not a lot of people remember, but it's called Gold Rush. It's pretty cool. But if you're gonna talk about Sierra, you gotta talk about one of my favorite adventure games, Leisure Suit Larry. One of my favorite stories about this series is that Al Lowe, after making Leisure Suit Larry 3, they're like, well, when is number 4 gonna come out? And he was like, I will never make number 4. And he never did. He actually skipped right to number 5, which is pretty funny. Another company that was part of Sierra that many people forget is Papyrus, and they made a lot of great racing games, including Grand Prix Legends and Viper Racing. We also owned a couple other companies like Impressions and Cocktail Vision, and these companies made games that kind of helped fill out our catalog a bit. Now, Conqueror is not a great game, and neither is Lost in Time, but again, they were kind of quirky and weird, as well as Alien Legacy, which I think, was this made by Dynamics? I forget. Impressions made a bunch of strategy games that a lot of gamers really enjoyed, like the Civil War series, Caesar series, as well as the Lords of Magic, and even Breach 3. So there is just some of the games that are in my Sierra collection, and a lot of these were donated by awesome fans of my YouTube channel like you guys watching right now. I really appreciate it because they're getting very hard to find out in the wild, especially in the Seattle area. I don't know what it is, but I think everyone in the 2000s just kind of threw them out, kind of like what I did when I was moving around a lot. They're so big and bulky that you're thinking, nah, they'll never be worth anything. What do I need to keep these for? Well, now I love collecting them and getting them back in my collection, so I really appreciate that. Do you guys collect big box PC games at all? And what do you think of the return of Sierra? I've been asked that a lot, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm not that excited. I mean, it's okay that Sierra's coming back, but honestly, all the people that made these great games that you saw in this video, they've moved on, you know what I mean? And so I'm not really that excited to have Sierra back. It's cool if these old franchises will live on and maybe new gamers will be able to play them, but I don't know. It's like your favorite band from your childhood reforming with new members. It's like, how excited can I get? Anyways, I don't want to be a downer, but that's kind of my thoughts on that. But anyways, I'd love to know what you guys think about this video. As always, I want to thank you for watching my channel and thank you for subscribing. Take care. If you guys like big box PC games and Sierra as much as I do, go ahead and thumb up this video. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching.